You can get much farther with a kind word and a gun than you can with a kind word alone. I'm tired of gang murders and gang shootings. It's a tough life to lead. You fear death at every moment, and worse than death, you fear the rats of the game who'd run around and tell the police if you don't constantly satisfy them with money and favors. I'm a businessman. I've made my money supplying a popular demand. If I break the law, my customers are as guilty as I am. I have spent the best years of my life giving people the lighter pleasures, helping them have a good time, and all I get is abuse, the existence of a hunted man. Do I do business with Canadian racketeers? I don't even know what street Canada is on. It seems like I'm responsible for every crime that takes place in this country. People who respect nothing dread fear. It is upon fear, therefore, that I have built up my organization. But understand me correctly, please. Those who work with me are afraid of nothing. Those who work for me are kept faithful, not so much because of their pay as because they know what might be done with them if they broke faith. You'd be surprised if you knew some of the fellows I've got to take care of. I violate the prohibition law, sure, who doesn't? The only difference is that I take more chances than the man who drinks a cocktail before dinner and a flock of highballs after it. I've been accused of every death except the casualty list of the World War. Be careful who you call your friends. I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. Every time a boy falls off a tricycle, every time a black cat has grey kittens, every time someone stubs a toe, every time there's a murder or a fire, or the Marines land in Nicaragua, the police and the newspapers holler, "Get Capone!" I'm sick of it. As soon as I possibly can, I'll clear out of here. I'll go as deep in my pockets as any man to help any guy that needs help. I can't stand to see anybody hungry or cold or helpless. The funny part of the whole thing is that a man in this line of business has so much company, I mean his customers. If people did not want beer and wouldn't drink it, a fellow would be crazy for going around trying to sell it. Nobody wanted prohibition. This town voted 6-1 against it. Somebody had to throw some liquor on that thirst. Why not me? This is virgin territory out here for whorehouses. Don't get the idea that I'm one of these goddamn radicals. Don't get the idea that I'm knocking the American system. This American system of ours, call it Americanism, call it capitalism, call it what you like, gives to each and every one of us a great opportunity if we only seize it with both hands and make the most of it. Things people know about amuse them. They like to laugh over them and make jokes. When a speakeasy is raided, there are a few hysterical people, but the general mass are light-hearted. On the other hand, do you know any of your friends who'd go into fits of merriment if they feared being taken for a ride? I don't want to end up in the gutter punctured by machine gun slugs. What do you want to do? Get yourself killed before you're 30? You better get some sense while a few of us are left alive. I want peace, and I will live and let live. I'm like any other man. I've been in this racket long enough to realize that a man in my game must take the breaks, the fortunes of war. I haven't had any peace of mind in years. Every minute I'm in danger of death. I wanted to stop all that because I couldn't stand hearing my little kid ask why I didn't stay home. I'd been living at the Hawthorne Inn for 14 months. If it wasn't for him, I'd have said, "To hell with you fellows, we'll shoot it out." I told them we are making a shooting gallery out of a great business and nobody is profiting by it. Nobody was ever killed except outlaws, and the community is better off without them. I'm the boss. I'm going to continue to run things. They've been putting the Roscoe on me for a good many years, and I'm still healthy and happy. Don't let anybody kid you into thinking I can be run out of town. I haven't run yet, and I'm not going to. It's hard, dangerous work, aside from any hate at all. And when a fellow works hard at any line of business, he wants to go home and forget about it. He don't want to be afraid to sit near a window or an open door. There's always some wiseacre who stands in the wings and criticizes. You've got two choices. You either buy these wiseacres off by giving them jobs, or you scare them off. If they don't scare, you take them in the alley. When they get out of the hospital, if they still want to squawk, you get rid of them. Union members look at dues the same way they look at taxes. Just something you got to pay the thieves who run things. Once you're in the racket, you're always in it. The parasites will trail you, begging for money and favors, and you can never get away from them no matter where you go. A kidnapper is no better than a rat, and I don't approve of his racket because it makes the kidnapped man's wife and kiddies worry so much. I shall be glad to help Chicago in this emergency. If machines are going to take jobs away from the worker, then he will need to find something else to do. Perhaps he'll get back to the soil, but we must care for him during the period of change. We must keep him away from red literature, red ruses. We must see that his mind remains healthy. The worst type is the big politician who gives about half his time to covering up so that no one will know he's a thief. A hard-working crook can buy these birds by the dozens, but he hates them in his heart. A crook is a crook, and there's something healthy about his frankness in the matter. But the guy who pretends he's enforcing the law and steals on his authority is a swell snake. They talk about me not being legitimate. Nobody's on the legit. You know that, and so do they. Nobody's really on the legit when it comes down to cases. When I sell liquor, they call it bootlegging. When my patrons serve it on silver trays on Lakeshore Drive, they call it hospitality. I never stuck up a man in my life. Neither did any of my agents ever rob anybody or burglarize any homes while they worked for me. They might have pulled plenty of jobs before they came with me or after they left me, but not while they were in my outfit. I've seen gambling houses too, in my travels, you understand, and I never saw anyone point a gun at a man and make him go in. TV never heard of anyone being forced to go to a place to have some fun. I give the public what it wants. I never had to send out high-pressure salesmen. I could never meet the demand. The country wanted booze, and I organized it. Why should I be called a public enemy? 90% of the people of Cook County drink and gamble, and my offense has been to furnish them with those amusements. Whatever else they may say, my booze has been good and my games have been on the square. Public service has been my motto. All I ever did was sell beer and whiskey to our best people. All I ever did was supply a demand that was pretty popular. Why, the very guys that make my trade good are the ones that yell the loudest about me. Some of the leading judges use the stuff. Some of the biggest dries in the country buy from me and have for years, so let's stop kidding. Hell, it's a business. All I do is supply a public demand. I do it in the best and least harmful way I can. I can't change the conditions. I just meet them without backing up.